I wanted my age range to be relatively low, simply because they are the more common type who listen to indie rock over anyone else. Although this is not the case in my research, so I decided to include some pop type content in the magazine also. I wanted my age range to be relatively low, simply because they are the more common type who listen to indie rock over anyone else. Although this is not the case in my research, so I decided to include some pop type content in the magazine also. My main genre is indie rock, however, being that my research proved it is not the most popular genre, I had to combine other rock types and also pop into the magazine. I wanted my strapline to be simple. I chose latest music now simply because that's what it is. The latest music of all kinds, up to date. I wanted my magazine to be similar to Q because I like the style of Q. However, I wanted it to feature the same sort of content, but also be a much more basic level of magazine so that everyone can read it, not just my target audience. I found a suitable publisher would be Bauer because they currently publish Q magazine, so it would not seem out of place for them to publish my own magazine. For the house style, I had a good look, and I decided I wanted a simple font which was clear and easy to read for everyone, but also one that would fit into the simple design of the magazine. I would describe my magazine as simple, easy to understand and original, which is mainly what I wanted as well as being attention-grabbing, new and accessible for all just like other magazines. I will include regular features in my magazine. This will be new singles, albums from artists, interviews with the artists, up-to-date information about new content being released, as well as the weekly indie rock music chart updates. I will have a range of content available as well as the above. I'm including news from the artists themselves, tour dates, indie rock events, and reviews on them. I'll be including as many indie rock artists as I can, from the older, more well-known such as Feeder, Bon Iver, Elbow, Hardfight, etc., as well as the new and upcoming artists such as the 1975, Lana Del Rey, Gauche, Haim, etc. That way the magazine will have a good variety each week. I was told to make up two artists for the magazine. I named them The Puncture and The System. I chose to use Carl, Ash, Max and Peter as models because they can all be easily made to look like indie rock stars. When I represent these people, I do not want to over-exaggerate the way they come across as stars, so I'm planning to have them in formal yet still casual clothing. This will make them fit into the rest of the indie rock industry. I want my magazine to be similar to Q because their language is easily understood, very standard English used. However, the difference I want is I want mine to look a bit more formal, mainly by using as little slang as possible and less quoting. I want to have a Spotify playlist made by Music Extra. This will hopefully be full of chart songs and popular indie songs at the current time. I'll be asking to hold festivals for the magazine at Brighton's Great Escape, Soundwaves and early music festivals. This will be mainly for the fans of the magazine to come along and see the indie bands live which are featured in the magazine. I have made a short list of some indie bands that I may feature in the magazine. Some of these bands are current, some are older, however, I think it will be good for the magazine to have that variety. Also, I want to include past indie bands that are no longer performing. This will hopefully help add even more variety to the magazine, as I want to only feature one or two bands in the magazine each week. These are some venues which allow bands to perform music at certain times. I want to include reviews of how these performances have gone. I can also find out which bands play at these venues and when. That information can then go on the tour dates pages.